Hi, I'm Julie Sonam. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Willamette Valley, and I want to talk to you about the weather. I want to tell you my thoughts and the honest truth about the weather that we have here in the Willamette Valley, because it's different than what you have heard. I'm sure it's different than what you think. It's all relative, and it's what you get used to or where you're coming from. If you're coming from Arizona or you're coming from a state that has a low annual precipitation, then it might feel like it rains all the time. But we have a different kind of rain. It's not like thunderstorms or really hard, heavy rain. It's misty and it's like drizzly. And so we have days after day after day after day of like a drizzle. So it's not exactly like pouring rain where you have to have an umbrella. Like you see people out all the time in the rain with just a rain jacket on and boots, a pair of boots, a sweater, a rain jacket. I think I use an umbrella like literally just a couple of times a year. Like if it's raining so hard and I need to get from the building to my car and I don't want to get sopping wet because I have to go somewhere or I'm meeting a client, then I might use an umbrella. But most of the time the rain is so light that it doesn't affect the things that we do. I had some friends move here from Los Angeles, and we had scheduled a time to get together and we were gonna do something outside. And they called me and they said, "Oh, we're so disappointed that we don't get to do XYZ today." And I was like, "What do you mean? What happened?" And they said, "Well, it's raining." And I said, "What does that have to do with it?" And they were like, "Oh, I thought we couldn't do it because it was raining." And I said, "Oh no, the show must go on. Like everybody that lives here gets used to doing things in the rain. It's not, nothing stops because of the rain. Things are still happening outside. People are still going for walks, riding their bike, going to the park, taking a hike. It's just doesn't change the way we live or the way that we do things. You just get used to it. You really, honestly, you just get used to it. We get between 50 and 60 inches of rain a year. I think that's true. Yeah, 50. Well, it says 50 inches is the high per year from late October to early May. So like, let's just say that's the average 50. So maybe one year you get 45 inches of rain and one year you get 60 inches of rain. But it rains around 50 inches per year. So there are plenty of places where that number is much higher, where you get much more rainfall than that, but it's a nice balance. I feel like it's a really good amount of rain, keeps everything really green. We have a lot of amazing trees here and it's very lush. Everything is very beautiful and lush. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is the mountains and Florence. So the mountains are about an hour. Like if you drive east, you're going to be heading up into the foothills into the mountains. And so say you're into snow activities like snowshoeing or skiing, or just you want to be in a winter environment. It's very close to get to snow. Really in the winter time, if you drove 30 minutes east, you would probably be into the snow. And the further you go, the deeper it gets because you're gaining in elevation. And then if you go to the coast in Florence, the temperature in Florence never gets over 80 degrees in the summertime. It's like extremely rare for it to ever get over 80 degrees. And in the summertime, it doesn't get that cold. It does get cold. It gets down 40, 50 degrees, and there is rain and there's wind, but it's a much more temperate climate in Florence. And so like if it's raining and cold in Eugene in the middle of winter and you're like, oh, I really need some sunshine. Too many gray, cloudy days have gone by. I really need sunshine. you can just drive over to Florence for a day. And oftentimes people will go spend a day at Florence, and they come back and say it was sunny, it was blue skies, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And so you oftentimes get, if you're in the valley, there's clouds that kind of hang in the valley, and you have this kind of trap for the weather where it's really gray and it's cloudy, and you can get out of it by heading over to the coast or heading up the mountains. In Eugene, we do have heat waves in the summer now. I would say like 15 years ago, air conditioning wasn't that common. A lot of houses did not have air conditioning. My house didn't have air conditioning, and a lot of houses that I sold did not have air conditioning. But now it's becoming a thing where everybody wants to have air conditioning, because we have been getting some heat waves in the summertime. And when I say heat waves in the summertime, I mean 5 days where it's going to be over 90 degrees. So it's not like Phoenix, or it's not going to be sustained temperatures over 100. It's going to be sustained temperatures over 90 for a few days. We have really nice weather here. Like today, it's probably 75. You can see behind me, it looks like it's sunny. It's a nice, sunny, beautiful day. We have many, many days like that. If you're thinking about moving to our area and you're concerned about the weather and you're concerned about the amount it rains, I will tell you, I don't think it's going to ruin your quality of life or your experience. I think once you moved here and got settled here, you would kind of get used to it and you would get in the routine of it. It's just like living anywhere where things are sustained for a long period of time, like where you live somewhere like, say, San Diego. I lived in San Diego, and every day was beautiful, and every day was 75 degrees, and it was just beautiful. And so I started to miss the rain, and I started to miss the fall weather, when I started to miss those seasons. And so the one nice thing about living in this area is we have 4 distinct seasons. We have spring, we have summer, we have fall, and we have winter. And it's nice. And so if the rain gets to be too much, I can promise you, when springtime comes and all the flowers start to come up and all the trees start to wake up and leaf out, it will be worth it. And you will be very impressed with the springtime here. It's just amazing. And the trees here are incredible. So if you're worried about the weather, I would say put that worry aside and worry about something else, because the weather here, I think, is really great. It checks all the boxes. We get a little bit of everything, and there's not too many extremes. Very, very little extreme weather. So that's all I have to tell you about the weather. I really love our climate, and I love living here, and I often think about other areas where a person can move or live, and I just feel like this area checks so many boxes of things that are required to have a really good quality of life. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, or you're thinking about moving to our area and you want information about a property or properties, or you want to discuss real estate, I'm always happy to help. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me anytime. Talk to you soon. Bye.